Hey guys, it's Henry here with Big Bin Wash Pros. I just want to give you a quick rundown on my trailer build. So this is a 6x12 tandem axle trailer. I had a custom ladder rack welded here to have this signage run kind of down the length of the vehicle. And we also have some signage on the back here as well. Just like that. We got our reels over here. I got a feed reel. This is the reel for our 8 gallon a minute, our 5.5, and our 12 volt. For feeding, we normally dual feed. So I got 200 feet off there. We normally pull the first 100 off and hook it into here. And this goes right into the tank. It's a Hudson float valve in there. The other 100 feet, the reel hooks directly into the tank there. So you just pull it off the reel and hook it into the second hose reel. Coming up front, we got our 2 pressure washers. This is a 8 gallon a minute gear drive. I got it from Trudy at Panhandle Power Wash. Great people, I recommend checking them out. This was a 4.4 for me that I got when I first started out, that I converted to a 5.5 gearbox. Right here you can see, so it's got the gearbox on there and the pump, and I got both of those from Russ Johnson at Southside, I believe. He had the kit for it, which was just over $800. I recommend, highly recommend doing that if you have a 4.4 and are looking to upgrade. The difference, it is a big game changer, 5.5 to 8. I'm sorry, 4 to 5.5. The same thing goes 5.5 to 8. It's another huge difference, but I think your efficiency goes way up with a 5.5 compared to a 4. On here too, this is where I keep all my chems. I got my surfactants, whatever, some F9 stuff. My wood stuff in there. I'll make another video going over that. In here, this is our roof box. So we keep our Tyvek, our gutter bags. Tyvek's right there. Tyvek is what we use to tarp over plants, as opposed to, you know, just those blue tarps you get from Lowe's. Tyvek actually allows the plants to breathe, so you don't end up burning them. If you leave regular tarps on a hot plant all day, you'll end up burning them. So that allows it to breathe and still keeps all the runoff off. I got an extra garden hose on there and an extra pressure washer hose that kind of just lays in there. This is our 12 gallon tank to feed the big bad boy, and then that 5 gallon one to feed that. On here we have the 55 gallon, that's our bleach tank. The water tank, we have 225 in the back. Then I have a 15 gallon downstream tank, a soap tank for the proportioner, 7 gallons, and then a neutralizer tank. We always run our neutralizer through the downstreamer. So I primarily downstream. I find it's much easier to not kill plants when you downstream, and it's pretty efficient. We'll normally soap with the 5.5 and rinse with the 8. If I'm by myself, I'll just run the 8. And I typically can get enough pull to clean most things. Obviously, sometimes I have to pump up with or touch up with a pump up, but normally you're pretty good to go. If it's terrible, we'll use the 12 volt, but I think it's much quicker without that. Coming over here, it's the brains right there. We'll talk about that later. But I have a cooler just to keep us cool. We use a 19-inch Whisper Wash Classic for the 8 gallon a minute. I just added that high pressure filter on there because I was getting a ton of clogged tips, and I've not gotten one since. So I highly recommend picking up one of those if you're running smaller tips on your surface cleaner. For the 5.5 over there, we run the 16-inch Whisper Wash Classic. Love that. We got some traffic cones, a trash bag. On here I have pump ups. They're all color coded and they have their own spot. This one is the white one that's normally miscellaneous. But then these, we have our red for acid, yellow is our bleach, and then blue we keep a caustic degreaser in here. I kind of mix it up myself. Don't recommend doing that, but if something blows up, I think that's cool. Don't tell OSHA. In here, keep these, you know, less used chemicals. This is One Restore, I believe. It's perfect for everything I need One Restore for. And then I keep a non-caustic degreaser if I ever need, you know, something I don't want caustic for, like a Trex deck or siding, something like that. You definitely want to use a non-caustic degreaser on there. In here, this is our 12 volt box. The wiring looks horrid, but it works. I use a 7 gallon a minute Fat Boy from Pressure Tech. I got a cam locked on there, so if it ever goes down, 2 cam locks. I use screw-on wire nuts to connect it. So really 2 cam locks, screw the new wires on, and cam lock the new one in, and you're back on the road. That's one of the nicest things about 12 volts, I think. Proportion right here, I have this cam locked as well. For this, I'd carry a spare cam lock with a length of hose on here. If I ever want to run, you know, oxalic, any kind of, you know, wood stuff. I've run Cleansol through that before, but it's real easy. If I want a fiber, you know, on the ground, just stick the tube in it and uncam lock on this and stick this cam lock on there, so I can run stuff that's not, you know, bleach, soap, or water without fooling with my tubing. Same thing here, I keep extra tube for downstreaming if I want to downstream something like that. I'll use this tube, borrow this PVC, and stick it in a bucket right here, and I can run it to my downstreamer on either side of the truck. Those normally slot right in here, but I pulled them out just so I could show you guys them. But that is about it. I did one last thing. We have a shirts box, so remote downstream controller. That is controlled with this top switch. The bottom switch controls the 12 volt. But I will show you guys that real quick. Probably the biggest thing I have added in recent memory for efficiency is this. You can cut on and off soap from the opposite side of the house every single click, it seems like, with confidence. So that has really sped up our process like crazy for washing houses. Love that. But that's about it. Figured I showed you guys real quick. Let me know if you got any questions.